Assalamu alaikum dear students, welcome back to English Corner. We have been discussing common mistakes in academic English. In this lesson I'll talk about three words which normally we find at the beginning of any academic essay, and we find that the students use them incorrectly. And as these words frequently occur in the beginning of an essay or an academic English writing, finding them, the examiners become disappointed and it influences the score. So the most frequently used and most frequently incorrectly used words are describe, discuss and agree. Let me give you some examples how students use these words. For example, the poem describes about soul. I am now discussing about the poem. I am agree to the statement. The silliest is I will be discussed about etc. etc. So you have to know how these three words are used in their different forms or parts of speech and how they can be used correctly at the beginning of your writing so that you can score better. So let us talk about different forms of these three words in detail. Okay, the first one is describe. Describe is a transitive verb. It means that just after this word, transitive verb, you have an object. And between the transitive verb and the object, normally we do not have any preposition or anything else until it is a part of the verb itself. So how the word describe is used? Describe something or somebody to or for somebody. So we normally use the verb to describe something or somebody to somebody. For example, I will describe the life of a Muslim. So describe the life of a Muslim, this is the object and this is the transitive verb. But you normally find that students use a preposition about after this. But after describe, you don't have to use any preposition, of course not about. He described his sufferings to me. Again, you don't have to use any preposition, of course not about. It is not that he described about his sufferings to me. The next example, Allah describes the heaven in the Quran. So describes not about, not any preposition. So you should not use about or any preposition after describe when it is used as a verb. Another important form of describe, which is a noun form, is commonly and frequently used, that is description. Even we find that after description many students use about, but even after the noun form of describe, that is description, there is no about. But you can use another preposition, description of something. So you can say, I will give a description of the life of a Muslim. He had a description of his sufferings. Allah gave or has given or gives a description of the heaven in the Quran. So after description you should use of, not about, and after describe there is no preposition necessary. The second word is discuss, and it is also used in its noun form, discussion. When we use it as a verb, it is used as a transitive verb, and just like a transitive verb, it has its object just after it. Normally we use the verb in this format, discuss something with somebody. For example, he discussed post-colonialism in this article. They discussed the poem with the teacher. And in its noun form, discussion, which is used in form like discussion with somebody on or about something. So you see, when you use the verb discuss, you should not have or you do not have about anywhere. So you cannot say he discussed about, they discussed about. But you can have they had a discussion about, or they had a discussion on something. So when you use it in its noun form discussion, you can have about or on after it, and then you have on or about something. Like, we had a discussion on or about literature. So here you have, after discussion you can have about, but after discuss you do not have any preposition. And also after discussion you can have the preposition of. The book has a discussion of different methods of research. Normally of is used when the something or an article or book discusses different aspects or methods of something. So we have found that discuss is a transitive verb, and when you use discuss in its verb form, you should not use about or on or of, but when you use it in its noun form discussion, you can use on or about which you are discussing, and somebody with whom you are discussing. The third word is agree, and agree is a verb, and it is normally used in this format: agree with somebody or something on or about something. For example, I agree with you. We use with whom we agree, on something, on this proposal or about this proposal. I agreed with this analysis, something. I agreed with something. It was agreed that we go next week. So here we have used it was agreed. And also we can use we all were agreed on this. It means that if few of us agreed. So the form is agree with somebody or something, but you cannot say I am agree. You cannot say I am agree, because after am you cannot have the verb agree. You should use I agree. And in cases where you have more than one person involved, you can say we were agreed or they were agreed. But normally in case of opinions, in case of consent, unanimous agreement, you can use this. The noun form of agree is agreement. So here also we use the preposition with. For example, I had an agreement with you. And if there are two persons, then you can use between. For example, there was an agreement between Bangladesh and India. Or you can say Bangladesh had an agreement with India. So that is all about these three words, and hope you have understood and you can use them correctly in your writing, particularly at the beginning of your academic writing. Thank you very much for watching. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.